everyone. This is Caitlin.
And this is Lacey.
And this is Women in the Trailer Industry. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about our EOS rollout. We were closed on Friday. We took the group, I almost called them kids. We took the kids to the company retreat.
We all loaded up in the bus.
Loaded up in the party bus. No kidding. But we all went to the Woodlands Resort, had a company retreat, had a day off from work, got to learn about EOS and what we've been doing over the past 3 or so months. And then, you know, how that looked like for the team.
Yeah, I think it was an exciting time just to be able to, we say day off, but really what that meant is that we had an all-day seminar with our employees. Yeah. But also, I mean, what really is fun about that too is we get to include the family. So the family gets to come and hang out at the resort and spend the day and then be a part of dinners that we have with the company at nighttime. So that was really cool just to start things off, you know, that way.
Yeah. And I didn't even think about the family aspect of it, but hopefully next year we won't have to sit in a seminar for all day. But yeah. You know, we were trying to make it go faster and trying to speed out the presentation, but there was just so much information.
Yeah. We have a lot this year to go over to Rollout, and I feel like next year we'll just be expanding on that versus presenting something totally new to the whole company
and having everybody absorb that too. So, you know, what did prep look like for that? So for about a month, Amanda, our executive assistant here, she planned everything from, you know, the resort to the food, to the early check-in, to the, you know, passes, to all the things. And, you know, from doing that in the past, that's just an extensive project. I think she was working on it to the day before and things were still wrong, which, you know, doesn't surprise, but she did a whole lot of work to get that done.
She worked hard on that too.
And then, you know, for the agenda, what I thought was mapped out as enough time, clearly next time I've learned that it will definitely need a break outside of the office so there's no interruptions to create the agenda. Yeah. To really walk through that flow. And really, you know, for everyone presenting, you know, you and Juan were presenting with me as well as Tyler. But it's also helpful for everyone to, you know, write the agenda. Mm-hmm. You were kind of thrown in on the day before and what you'll be talking about. Tell me a little bit about that and how you would think you'd be better prepared.
Yeah, so I think you're just, you more know what the flow looks like if you are in part of like, so maybe like next year where, you know, you wrote the whole thing and then this is like, you were like, hey, like this is your part. So you need to go over what you're going to say. Where it was like basic, like high level kind of overview. I think whenever you are, a part of planning out where that's going to fit in and what you're going to do in that part, it just flows better, I think. And not that we did anything wrong this time. It's just that I think that when everybody puts their pieces together, and then also a key thing is to kind of rehearse it. So really what we should have done is rehearse it. And I think it really flowed very, very well. It was really organized and it was really good. But of course we are always self-critical of ourselves. So we always want it to be better, right? So what could we have done? And this is kind of what we have self-reflected to do next time is to, you know, have it done a little bit more ahead of time, have everybody take their parts, own those parts, and then kind of go through a walk-through rehearsal so that you know. And I mean, for me, I'm talking for myself here when I say like, just for me to be able to say it out loud, rehearse it, makes me more confident when I'm saying, I know all this stuff, but like to speak in front of people, that's not everybody's strong suit, right? You know? And so that was a good thing.
Well, it's interesting you said that too, you know, even like, okay, you know, we've done this for the past 3 months. We know what these terms are. We know them, like we dream about them probably, but you know, if I would have delegated that and just say, Lacey, you get to create the whole agenda for 3-year picture and like me have no idea what's going on. Right. Then you would have created that. You would have been probably more confident than you were because I thought you were plenty confident in that, but more confident, like you knew the structure, you know everything. And then I would have been the one like, you know, trying to go with the flow and things like that. So definitely, you know, assigning each person their their part of it and letting them come up with the steps probably would have definitely flowed a lot better.
For sure. And I think too, so we were talking about, we rolled out this program for our company. We've hit on it before, but tell us what EOS is and what we have actually implemented in our company, what this was.
Yeah. So we rolled out the entrepreneurial operating system, which is basically 6 parts of your business. And it's just a model that you follow, a structure. And so really the biggest things are that we identified our core values.
Yeah.
So everyone speaks about that. And go ahead and tell me what those are, Lacey.
Okay. So our core values are transparent, adaptive, goal-oriented, disciplined, and taking ownership. So those are the basic things that we are going to live and die by with this company. We've decided that is what we're already pretty much structured for, but that's also what we want to push and prop up. So we're going to be hiring and firing for those values. Nice. To see if our employees fit into that. And if they don't, ask the question why and move from there.
Yep. And then we also define what our core focus was, and what that means is what our passion and what our niche is.
I love it. So tell us, what is it?
Yeah. So drum roll.
All right.
So our core focus is delivering solutions faster than anyone else so the doers can do. And that's really what we've lived by. We've always, from the beginning of time, just did what it takes to get the customer taken care of, get the employees taken care of, just so they can do what they need to do.
Yeah. And I think it was really important to have somebody on the outside, what we call an implementer, to walk us through this process. These are, like you said, these are already things that we are already doing, but to put that in words so that we can live by these words that we've put together, like really stand on that. We were walking through that, and I think that's what you identify in the process of doing this training, is that you identify what you're already doing, and then you put it into a good word. I don't want to say slogan, but like you put it into a good phrase where you can tell others, like, this is what we do.
Yep.
And so it was really interesting on our own level, but then to present it to our whole company was just really fulfilling for me, just to be able to be proud of it too.
Yeah.
So,
and in the retreat, we went through around and talked about how everyone exemplified a core value. And I thought that was really interesting. And what other people thought of each other. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of hard workers and goal oriented, and just people who really took ownership for the business. So that was really interesting.
It was fun. We did have speaking of interesting, we had some interesting things that happened in the middle of it. So one of the things that happened was we were in the middle of, I can't remember who was presenting, maybe it was Juan, and the fire alarm goes off, and it was like, fire in the building. So everybody had to pack up and get all their things out. Yeah. And then, you have your families there, so you're worried about them too. And
it's so funny what everyone, just really watching everyone's reaction when that started happening. Like the things they were picking up.
What do you grab?
Amanda was picking up her binder and I was like, what are you doing? Go get the children. Like, why are you picking up your notebook?
It's hilarious.
So later on, she told me her entire wallet and stuff was in there. And I was like, okay, that made more sense. But I'm like, get your car keys, get your wallet, like get your kids and get out.
I was looking for my keys, but I did grab my computer. It's kind of my lifeline. Yeah. So I did grab that.
I could see that. Yeah. But it never fails that when we try to do something, something like that happens, completely random things. But what came out of that is, earlier in the day, I saw that there was another EOS meeting going on, and it was another company, and they had implemented EOS several years ago, right? And they were actually having their quarterly meeting. And so we caught up with them and during the fire drill, and they were able to say, what's all helped their company when they implemented EOS, and how that's helped them grow. So it was very interesting, the things they said. Do you remember some of those things?
Yeah, so some of the things that they said were interesting is scorecard was very important to them to be able to see if they were on track for metrics that they needed to hit within their company, and also their core focus too, and setting goals that they were all trying to meet and be on the same page doing. Those are some of the things that I remembered. Was there anything else that they said that stood out to you?
Honestly, I was talking to their implementer, so I didn't hear anything they said besides at the end, they said they had been doing it for 2+ years and they implemented it 2 years ago.
And I think one of the cool things about that is first of all, what are the odds that there's going to be another company there that are implementing and walking through the same processes as us? But also for our employees, it was really good to see like, hey, we're not just throwing something crazy at them that we're, this is the new whim and this is what we're going to do this month. And maybe next month we're going to do something else. Like I think it really set in stone how serious we are as a company and where we want to go and that this isn't going anywhere. So this, get on board or get off board. Yeah. So we're here,
And basically, in the past there was we grew so fast and, there was a lot of madness and the chaos and, it was fun. And then, the complaint was, there's no structure, no structure, right? So we definitely wanted to implement to gain some of that structure. And it helps, I don't know, sometimes humans need a little bit of guideline to be able to function because I never would have even thought about some of those things prior to EOS, like, oh, wow, that scorecard is easy. And this is just a way to really implement that down into the business and get everyone on the same page. One of our core values is transparent. Get everybody transparent, get the expectations out there so that no one's, questioning or second guessing or wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. No, we're going to come to work. We're going to do what we do on our scorecards, on our things, and fulfill our mission and then just kind of go from there.
And everybody's held accountable too. But I think as you were just saying that, what like popped in my head was that we hear our employees. So like we grew so fast, like you said, but then people were saying like, there's no structure. We don't know who to answer to, those kinds of things. I think a very important thing to pick out there is that we heard them. We heard them all. And we wanted to do something that was going to change the trajectory. And really what our trajectory at the time was, we just want to grow, but we don't know how. You know, we don't know what we're doing. We're just doing it every day. And so what we wanted to do was structure something that would be a really good foundation. And to be able to know that we have this consistency and everybody is held accountable for their own job, for their own metrics, for all the things that they have really, that's the cool thing. And they get to set what they want that to be. Obviously it has to be approved if it's aligned with the company, but they get to set that. So they get to know from what they want that they're going to have to meet that. So it's really cool.
And it was really interesting in the one that you delivered, the picture, like, what people want in 1 year and what they want in 3 years. It was very interesting to see, how much people wanted to make, what position they wanted to be in. Yeah. Like what were their goals for 3 years? And I'll tell you, we have a bunch of high achievers on this team because some of those dollars amounts are like, good God almighty. Yeah. But I think that really speaks to who they are and their personality and like what keeps driving them. So I appreciate those bigger numbers because that makes me know that they're going to keep driving to those results. Yeah. Essentially, because they want those bigger numbers. Now, some of them we may not can achieve in just 3 short years, but I don't think it could be out of the question, especially if we hit our profit goals and the things, because for our company, I know that as we grow, people can grow too,
I just want to jump in here real quick. So just to tell our viewers kind of some of the exercises that we did that were helpful and useful, so that maybe if you wanted to use them as an example for your company, one of the things that Caitlin was just talking about is before I went into what we wanted as a company, what we had already agreed that our 1 year plan was going to be, or our 3 year picture, I had everybody write on a note card what they wanted to be doing in 1 year and 3 years, and then what they also wanted to be making. So that was something that we had them do previous to knowing any kind of context of what I was about to get into of what we had decided, so that where people are and can gauge them. We did a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, but we did several different team building games. And then
the marshmallow one was hard.
Yeah, the marshmallow one was fun. So Juan had everybody take some supplies and see who could get the tallest marshmallow. And really that was just team building, working together. But then also I think another thing was that you had people close their eyes several times and just imagine, as you were talking and laying out kind of what our groundwork was, imagine themselves in that role and what that would look like. And that really, number one, makes you come out of your comfort zone because you're having to close your eyes and really participate at that point. But two, you can let loose in your own mind and really get in the moment and think about those things when you do that. So that was really constructive.
Yeah. And, I wish I would have took pictures because it's interesting to me how like really self-critical people are about themselves. Like some of what I would call the best employees ever were like, they thought they have minuses on the core values. And I'm like, wow, self-criticism is strong in that, but I think that's also what drives them to be a better employee and to be a better person all the time, because they know that they want to improve in that area. So that is very interesting when they did that.
What are some of the things that we did talk about a little bit at the beginning, but some of the high things that we kind of learned putting together this presentation to move forward with?
So things we learned for next time. So, definitely taking a day outside of the office where there's no distractions, disruptions, to really create that agenda. For me, delegating the parts that were not going to be held by me or presented by me to those, so they can really create and figure out what their flow is and what their process is instead of me telling them. I really liked sidebar.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of fidget spinners and booklets and things like that. So I really like those, just getting those out and be able to have those prepared prior, getting the agenda done maybe the week before. And then so those can be done like the week of, so we can make sure there's no errors and things like that. And that they actually get done, because, the day before they didn't have them done until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And then it was all night putting them in binders, right? So just really preparation on those things. But also like really getting creative and getting in flow with that. And I think really being out of the office would help best with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, again, Amanda gets a lot of props for that, because she was in charge. And Kiefer, he put together the presentation. Like, there's a bunch of, so another thing that we learned is utilize your resources. There's people that have shrinks that can play into putting together a presentation that is all hands on deck, but makes it the best it can be for your employees.
Absolutely. Like I told Kiefer, I was like, well, whatever it's going to be way better than I did, because I was just going to put bullet points on a screen, and, everyone would have probably been super bored with my presentation, but, that's the skill set I got, and that's what I got to work with. But really appreciate him for putting that together and putting the booklets together in pretty much 3 days. So that says a lot. So.
Yeah. Some of the things that I think I'm excited about moving forward after the presentation is, we've been having our own leadership meetings, and all the things that we rolled out for them as far as what the structure is going to be, what their metrics are going to be, what does a scorecard look like, what does an issue look like, all these things, what does a rock look like, which is basically a goal that you set. We had already set those for ourselves and for the company, but now I'm excited that we get to take that same structure and take it to our departments and actually have those meetings with our departments and get that one-on-one time. So they are invested. So I'm excited about that. Is there something that you're really excited about being like the implementer of the whole thing?
Yeah. Really, we're all implementers, but I'm looking forward to the department meetings, for one. I'm really looking forward to people getting their scorecards. They know their expectations of them. There's no second guessing. And then really, as leaders of the group, getting into those quarterly conversations, going ahead and telling them what's working, what's not working, and them having the ability to tell us the same. And then so really we can start off on the same page. We can go into the last quarter fresh. And then, we can tackle the first quarter when it gets here.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm excited about all of it.
Yep.
I think it was really a success. It was a big success. Everybody was happy with it. And I think that we just get better every year by critiquing our own performance and being able to do better next year.
Absolutely. Yep. So a few little advice points, prepare for whatever you have going on, and, delegate if you can to those who will be helping you with that. And then, really just preparation. Do you have anything else?
No, I think you hit it all. Basically just making sure that there's time before the event rolls out, so you're not cramming the night before. Yeah. And you've gone through it. So everybody's on the same page. And people are going to be really receptive no matter what presentation you're coming in, unless you really drop the ball. But I think we all work hard to not have that happen. So we're just really excited about the future.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we have today. We look forward to telling you how EOS has panned out in our business and things we've implemented week by week, and just some things we've learned. And we'll see you next time on Women in the Trailer Industry.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.